What is going on, everybody? AJ Riley with Eric Vincent for your favorite Detroit sports show. Once again, we were with you live last night. We're with you here again today on Friday, ready to celebrate the weekend kicking off. Eric, you excited about the weekend?
I am, man. I am. NFL free agency has been insane. And what better way to cap it off and talk, than Beyond the Box right here. Here
Absolutely.
we are.
Why would you not spend your Friday night with us, your two favorite Detroit sports show hosts? That's right. Who we are. That's what we do. So let's get into it. Here's what we're talking about. We're going to break down a little bit of what we talked about last night on the live. On the live last night, we graded the free agency. If you did not check that out, make sure you go and watch it so that you know kind of what we're talking about tonight. How do the signings of Cam Sutton and Emmanuel Moseley, how do they impact the Detroit secondary, and does that shift their draft strategy? We're also going to talk about Aaron Rodgers and how he's no longer in the NFC North. I know. One more time. We got to do it one more time. I know
we have to. We have to.
We have to.
Okay.
One last time. But before we get into all of that, Eric, let's talk to the people about GearUpDetroit.shop real quick.
Yes, indeed. Hey, Detroit sports fans, did you know you can now rep your favorite team in style without even leaving this page? Gear Up Detroit store is now available right here on YouTube, just below the video you're watching right now.
Yeah, that's right. It allows you to browse through our range of high quality, unique, and stylish merchandise for all your Detroit sports teams, the Lions, the Tigers, the Red Wings, and even the Pistons if you want to support them, even though they're not that good this year, without missing a moment of your favorite show, Beyond the Box.
And if you want to explore even more awesome gear, you can always visit GearUpDetroit.com for a full range of tees, hoodies, hats, and more, all designed by talented local artists around the area.
Yeah, so make sure that you gear up for that next game. Support local creators. Make a statement with GearUpDetroit.shop. And remember, you can shop right here on YouTube or visit GearUpDetroit.com. Now, let's talk about the Lions who geared up. Because they did. You like
Look
that?
at you.
Yeah, they geared up. Cam Sutton, 3 years, $33 million. Voidable years on that contract, which lessens the cap hit. Huge move for the Detroit Lions. A solid cornerback. Last night on the live, I called him great, and then I kind of walked that back a little bit and was like, I think we use that term a little bit too loosely. He's a really good cornerback. He's a solid cornerback, and it sounds like he's excited to be here. They also pick up Emmanuel Moseley, 1 year, $6 million, to solidify a secondary that was horrific last season. How does this impact the secondary going forward, Eric?
This is huge. These are their two. We kind of disagreed a little bit. I still think Montgomery is their biggest signing. But if anyone says either these two guys are their biggest signing, you're not going to hear a single argument from me. Bringing on two veterans from some pretty high quality defenses. Moseley coming from San Francisco. The Steelers, who lost Sutton, they always the Steelers have their little position groups that they always seem to hit at, and corner seems to be one that they staple pretty well as well. Bringing them in on a super young secondary, the obvious weak point of that defense, where Oruwariye was getting torched. Jeff Okudah, who did a complete 180 from starting off really strong, locking up guys like Justin Jefferson, playing well against the elite of the elite. He took a big step back in the second half of the season. So bringing in some experience, now moving Jerry Jacob down as a dime or nickel package cornerback where he doesn't have to match up against a number one or a number two, that's an advantage as well. I think it helps for Kirby Joseph. It helps for Tracy Walker when he comes back from his injury. I think this is a fantastic, both of these signings are fantastic acquisitions by the Lions.
I think so too. I was really excited. Their first major signing was Sutton, and it was oh, okay. They're about to do something. And they did it. Mosley, last year, top 10 in interceptions with 3. 70. He was targeted 71 times, which was top 40 in the league. He only allowed 36 receptions on those 71 targets. That's just over 50%.
Damn good player.
This dude had a passer rating allowed of 69.6. Like, this is a good cornerback. This should make Detroit Lions fans excited about the secondary that they're putting together. Oh, and then on top of that, now we've signed Emmanuel Mosley, who only played 5 games last year because he did tear his ACL. So we have to take that into account. But this was my best signing of the offseason. Why? Because he's 26 years old. They signed him to a 1-year, $6 million prove-it deal, which means he could come back. He had 19 tackles in 5 games. He had 1 interception in 5 games. He had a 73.5 coverage grade from PFF, overall 70.9, and a passer rating allowed 63.5. That's pretty good.
I'll take it a step further. It takes a lot of the sting out of not acquiring Jalen Ramsey. A lot of fans wanted Jalen Ramsey. A lot of fans wanted a big name at corner. And you were going to be put in a position, if you were to get Jalen Ramsey, of relying on possibly, let's say they get Witherspoon or Gonzalez or Joey Porter. You rely on them to be your number 2. At this point now, you can look at Sutton and Mosley as 1 and 2, and then relying on the development of a young cornerback if they still draft one in the draft. It's not a necessity to get one high, and it's not a necessity for them to overperform early. So I think this is even better than getting Ramsey and then relying on the corner to draft.
You hit the nail on the head.
That's
100%. Because if you get Ramsey, you're not getting probably another cornerback, and you're running it back with the secondary that you have with an upgraded Ramsey. And Ramsey has flaws.
Yes, he's not perfect. He's not who he used to be.
But at the same time, you now have 2 guys who can solidify that defense, that secondary. You have the potential, and we talked about this on the live. Again, if you did not watch that live, you have to go back and watch that live. They are now entering the draft without a pressing need, which is awesome.
Yep.
Because if Witherspoon's the best person on the board at 6, do I necessarily love taking a corner at 6? No. I would probably trade out before I picked Witherspoon. But you could take the best corner available at 18 if there's somebody there. Add them to this room. And if you are fortunate enough that a Jalen Carter or Will Anderson fell to 6, highly unlikely. But if you had one of those 2 and a corner at 18,
you're on somewhere. What's a cornerback's best friend? A great D line in front of him.
Exactly.
You're going to see a lot more aggressive play.
Yes. Why was Jeff Okudah so highly touted out of Ohio State? Because of the front 7 that they had.
Was Chase Young on that team with him?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Chase Young was on that team with him.
There we go.
Right. Exactly my point. This is significant. The impact of this should not be one of the worst secondaries in football anymore. And it goes into a lot, and I heard a lot on local sports radio yesterday and things like that as well. The Lions are the odds-on favorite to win the NFC North, which we're going to talk about a little bit later in the show. They also have the 4th highest odds to win the NFC right now, before the draft. Have we,
So who's in
I don't know how to respond to this.
Yeah, I'm trying to process this all correctly. So it's the Eagles, San Francisco, and who was the other one? It wasn't Minnesota, I hope. Was it?
I hate to say this, but the 3rd team with the 3rd best odds to win the NFC is the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh gosh.
I know.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Which and to local sportscasters' credit, they were like, they don't count because they don't win anything. So the Lions are the 3rd best team, which is true, right?
I like our
the
chances.
Lions are the 3rd best team.
They were a Jamal Williams fumble away from beating them last season, so I'm not worried about that at any stretch.
And these signings are why.
Yes.
You're talking Tracy Walker is going to be back. Kirby Joseph's going to be back. You have a solid secondary. You go into a nickel package, right, where you got 5 DBs on the the ground, and your third cornerback on the field is Jeff Okudah.
That's a W.
That's pretty good.
That's a big W.
You go into a dime package and your fourth quarterback's Will Harris. That's pretty good.
That's what you want. That's what you want. They're building depth. They're building foundation. They're building something real. This defense, again, and even from, like, I don't like a lot of people call the defense, they were trash last year. You're only trash if you have nothing else to work with. You have a bunch of resources and a bunch of growing, blossoming young players to go with it. Yeah. And now adding those 2 veterans in the secondary, huge. I cannot wait to see what this defense looks like. So,
we want to talk a little bit too, like assessing the strengths and weaknesses. These guys are really good cover guys. Mm-hmm. They do lack a little bit in the run game, but a 37 run grade for Cam Sutton, or pass rush grade. I'm sorry. His run defense is 73.6. Mosley's run defense is 58.6. Yes, that's a weakness, but if you address the front 7, like we've talked about, and you said it last night on the live, what's a cornerback's best friend?
A great defensive line in front of them.
Great defensive line in front of them.
That's it.
Their run deficiency shouldn't matter all that much. Cam Sutton's going to come up and put the stick to you. Mm-hmm. Mosley, not so much. Jeff Okudah grades out pretty good in the run as well. I'm very pleased. And I'm actually happier that we signed these 2 than that we made a move for Ramsey.
Yes.
I really am.
Yep.
Like this is setting up to be phenomenal.
Because you don't know what version of Ramsey we're getting. He might have a game where even if you look at him last season, like he got burnt by Stephon Diggs to open the season. Then the next game, he gets a pick, and I'm him. And I'm not trying to like kill him, but like,
sure,
it doesn't hurt now to not have. It was a little disappointing, a little shocking to see what he went for, but knowing what you did they did it quick too. They didn't wait. They got after Sutton fast. They got Mosley right after. I love what Brad Holmes did with addressing that secondary. Knocked it out the park.
To wrap up this segment, the draft is coming up at the end of April. With the moves that they made, I mean, they signed 3 secondary players. We have to talk about it because it's something that we've talked about often, and I feel like it's something we're going to continue to talk about until the draft.
It's a long way away. Yep.
Does the signing of these guys, including Will Harris, who re-signed, so Sutton, Mosley, and then re-signing Will Harris, you added 3 cornerbacks through free agency technically. Mm-hmm. Does that affect their draft strategy?
1,000% it does. You went from cornerback being a pressing need where you didn't even have a choice of having to get at least 1, maybe even 2 corners. You addressed that with 2 guys. One that, again, I think it was a little bit more pressure on Mosley to stay healthy and show that obviously on a 1-year trial run, he's got a little bit more, proving to do. Mm-hmm. But again, it's not as much pressure as what a cornerback would have had if you would have drafted him early. I mean, maybe you talk about them not being good at tackling. Maybe Witherspoon is a Dan Campbell guy because he's very good at run support, but it's not a need anymore. So yes, we just talked about it on the live again. It opens up offensive opportunity who you could draft for. It opens up maybe gambling or the trading up. Like it opens up a lot of different options that they could use at number 6. Like, yeah. It changes a lot.
I think it changes the draft strategy, like you said, in the fact that it's not a pressing need, which means that you don't have to draft a cornerback at 6. Mm-hmm. Which to me signifies this. If you're not willing to trade up to get Will Anderson, because again, I'm nothing if not consistent. I'm only trading up to get Will Anderson. I'm not trading up for Jalen Carter.
Yep, you've been consistent.
Jalen Carter, because of what we talked about on the live last night, if Jalen Carter falls to us at 6, then I've got a decision to make. If Will Anderson or Jalen Carter are not there at 6, you don't have to draft a cornerback. You don't have to draft anybody. Mm-hmm. You trade out of that spot. Back to 12, back to 13. See what corners are on the board then. Pick one up there. Yep. I'm much more comfortable picking a corner at 13 than I am at 6. And at the same time, you still have 18. So you could potentially pick up the best remaining cornerback of the first round, Joey Porter Jr., potentially, who I think would be... Like, I love Christian Gonzalez. I think Devin Witherspoon's really good. I really think that Joey Porter Jr. fits really well into the Detroit system.
We're lockstep there. I totally agree.
I'm not reaching for Christian Gonzalez. I'm not reaching for Devin Witherspoon. If Joey Porter's there at 18, I'm taking Joey Porter.
Mm-hmm. Witherspoon looks like he might have a future, and obviously it's super early, but if he turned into a safety in a few years, wouldn't be surprised.
Right. So I don't think it changes the strategy other than now you don't go, we need this guy, and we got to hope nobody takes him.
Yes.
Now all we have to do is go, who's the best player available at 6? Who's the best player available at 18? Who's the best player available at 48? And I can add depth to rooms that have been strengthened rather than trying to find guys to strengthen.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I don't know. It's so good. I feel like Ricky Bobby in his first interview where he's like, I don't know what to do with my hands because I don't know how to be reacting right now.
I don't know what to do with these good decisions. These bargain deals and value high players. I don't know.
I'm like,
it's good to see. That's the thing.
It is
normally
good,
this
but
team
it's so dangerous.
It is because
so dangerous.
Normally this team has to overspend on a Trey Flowers to come save and revamp this defense. True. You're getting a lot of high value guys for a low end deal. This is awesome job by Brad Holmes.
But also, I'm so nervous for like November to walk around and we're like, this is such a disappointment because there's so many like 50% of me wants to jump to Mars right now. The other 50% of me is locking my feet to the ground. You know what I'm saying?
We got hard knocks fever right now. That's the kind of excitement we're with.
Crazy. It's nuts. I don't know. And because it's so crazy, Eric, we are actually rolling out some new shows.
Yes.
So why don't we talk to the people about these shows? Because we have some exciting news. We're now introducing Beyond the Box coming at you 4 times. You see my broken finger there? 4 times a week.
Calvin Johnson.
4 times. Monday Night Live, Thursday Night Live. Then we drop shows with deeper analysis on Tuesday at 5 and Friday at 5. It's giving you real-time analysis and insights to the latest sports news.
That's right, man. I'm super excited. If you love these these segments, you'll definitely want to check out our deeper dive episodes Tuesday and Friday at 5 o'clock. On these days, we're going to go beyond the surface, take a closer look at the impact of the news on our Detroit sports teams. We analyze strategies, breakdowns, key moments, and the long-term effects of the latest developments, man. It's a lot to dig into.
Yeah, to put it simply, it's the best way to stay informed and gain a deeper understanding of your favorite teams with your favorite guys. Plus, we're always adding fresh content with clips throughout the week featuring highlights, in-depth analysis, and special features as well.
So stop playing. Make sure you don't miss out. Lock in with us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn on the notifications and join us for the live shows, the deep dive episodes, and everything in between. It could feature anything as crazy as AJ dancing. You never know. Lots to go beyond the box together and celebrate the best of Detroit sports.
And there's reason to celebrate, baby. Aaron Rodgers is no longer going to be in the NFC North.
Yes.
There's so much reason to celebrate.
Oh, happy day.
Okay, that's enough. And that's about as much rhythm as I have.
That was
there,
good, though.
Listen,
that clap was good for you.
Hey, listen, I do play the drums. So
wow.
There is a little bit of insight. I have about that much rhythm. About that much.
We'll see more of it. Okay, we'll talk about that.
But I will tell you, if there's any time I'm going to dance, it's right now.
Yes,
because
indeed.
Aaron Rodgers, we no longer have to deal with this. We no longer have to worry about him. We don't have. Listen, what he's doing to the Packers, I'm all for it because they are a train wreck.
Yes.
He is. I mean, we talk about Jameson Williams and his diva-ness to a certain extent. This is a completely different galaxy of diva.
Completely different. Yes.
Did you watch the Pat McAfee interview?
I refused. I love Pat McAfee, but I could not give him that rating. I'm sorry, Pat. Couldn't do it. I can't watch this guy.
So I was one of the almost 500,000 people watching this.
Oh my God.
It was nuts. Okay. I'm going to say it. Aaron Rodgers out-douched LeBron with his decision.
Because LeBron at least made a decision. That's fine. 100% right.
He did announce that he intends to play, and he doesn't intend to play for the Jets.
We know that.
You needed to go into a cave to figure that out?
Right. You gotta rub ayahuasca on your chest to make this non-decision. Like I caught the Twitter clips of saying, "Oh, this isn't me actually coming out to confirm where am I going." Then what are you talking to us for?
Yeah.
Get out of here!
Yeah, I know. I was sitting there and I'm working, I'm watching this, and I'm listening to it, and I'm just sitting there like, there has never been anybody that has been able to go, I know I have your attention, and I'm going to keep it on me as long as I can. Because I'm Aaron Rodgers, and I demand transparency, even though I said that I was inoculated, not vaccinated, which is not transparency.
I'm immunized.
Immunized, that's what it was. Yeah.
What?
Like, come on, man.
And didn't he say, I don't want to drag this out to free agency? Well, guess where we are, Aaron? Free agency. You ain't made no choice yet, man. What are we doing? Your stupid laundry list of give me Mercedes Lewis.
Oh no. He didn't give them that list. Did he say, yeah, I'd like to play this guy? Yeah, I'd like to play this guy, but I didn't give a wish list. Like, Aaron, first of all, you can't complain about the Packers not giving you weapons and then say you would like to play with the guys that the Packers gave you as weapons.
And ironically seriously? Your old OC and then Alan Lazard also come join you. But I had nothing to do with that. That's not a part of my wish. I don't know how they got here. Like,
okay. All right, we've had our fun. And it's fun to make fun of Aaron Rodgers.
Always. Twitter's been a blast.
Because it was awful. It was so, I get it. Like, him and Pat are friends. Him and AJ Hawk play together. So they're, supporting him and doing the right thing. But, oh, my gosh. It was so bad.
Pat getting his money. But as you said.
Good for him. I love Pat McAfee. You love Pat McAfee. Great. I do. Awesome. What is the impact, though, of Aaron Rodgers' departure from the NFC North? And I think I have a surprising answer.
Okay.
But I want to hear yours.
I think I'm going to give the easy answer. This doesn't change anything that we didn't know the last week of the regular season. Okay, because this is the part I love the most. Yes, obviously to me, and I believe to you, the Lions are sitting at the top as the favorites of the NFC North on paper.
According to Vegas, too.
And according to Vegas. But we knew that last season because Minnesota was better and the Lions were better. They were put out of their misery in the regular season. They were clearly not on any kind of upward trajectory. And we knew that. Normally when you I don't even want to call him an all-time great, but let's just say all-time great player that he is.
Let's be unbiased.
I know, but I'm the hater. Look,
he called himself one of the greatest Packers of all time, which is true. Yeah. He is.
I'm going to wash away the hater. Let me put my objective hat on. But normally we see these all-time great players, they like to ride out in the sunset. If he would have won in the playoffs, it would have been a question mark. It would have been a lot more of a question of where the Lions stand. Do they have a chance yet? They haven't proven anything yet. You saw that already last season. You could make the argument you saw it throughout the whole season because Aaron Rodgers was not that great. So we knew this already, and I think it's just confirmed now that he wants to be a Jet. There it is.
He wants to literally be Brett Favre.
They've been the same person this whole time. Watch him get some regulars when he retires. It's right on cue.
I don't think it has an impact. Like you just said, that was my surprising answer that you stole from me. That's okay.
I'm sorry. That's okay.
It's not like he wasn't the king of the NFC North. No. They didn't even win the division. They didn't make the playoffs last year. He had 2 back-to-back MVP seasons recently. But the Lions dethroned him.
Yes.
He lost his last 3 games to the Lions, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. Yep.
And nobody's talking about the Packers being successful next year, even with Aaron Rodgers. If they didn't have the cap space, first of all, to run it back. And they're about to take a $40 million cap hit when they trade him.
That's brutal.
You know why? Like, I was looking at the free agents they've signed. Nobody. They've signed one cornerback.
That's on brand for them. That cheap franchise that they have.
They
That's
have
on brand.
$20 million in cap space, but they're about to take a $40 million cap hit when he's traded.
But they had no problem spending that money on him.
And are expecting a Matthew Stafford type return.
Yeah, that, and I don't think they're getting that. That's not happening.
Not. Why is this dragging on at this point? It's because they're asking for that.
Yes.
That's why. I don't think it has a huge impact.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Packers are going to be the bottom of the barrel team in the NFC North next year.
Yep.
I think they're fourth place.
Yep.
And I think the Bears and the Vikings are going to battle for the second position.
Bears have done some good things.
The Bears have done some great things.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the potential to do even better things in the draft.
Yep.
Not to mention, like, they even signed today. They signed Green Bay's tight end, Robert Tonyan.
Huge pickup.
And then also signed Deontay Foreman.
Yep.
To back up Khalil Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
Because Khalil Herbert's going to be their running back, and he's a really good running back. And they got Deontay Foreman for like 1 year, $3 million.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Chicago's trajectory is a lot different than we said even 2 weeks ago.
They're doing some good things. They're doing a very good job this offseason.
So to me, in a lot of ways, the NFC North race is really the Lions to lose. We've said this. They're the NFC North champs. Aaron Rodgers' departure means nothing.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. Like, we don't have to.
Absolutely nothing.
But I wonder how Packers fans actually feel about him at this too. Like, I wonder what he's an all-time great. I wonder what their reception is for him, seeing this Brett Favre scenario play out again.
Twice, yeah.
It's hilarious to me. But no, I agree with you. I don't think this changes anything.
That's a great point. Like, if you could, for a minute, like, demote yourself to a Packers fan.
Put the cheese on. Okay. Hold up. Okay.
What a terrible logo. If you could degrade yourself and become a Packers fan for like 3 seconds, I don't want it to stick too much because I don't want you to have to like feel like you need to shower afterwards. How would you feel?
I feel shortchanged. Like, yeah, the MVP years was cool. Like, the Super Bowl you won, like, 14 years ago now at this point?
It's a long time ago.
Like, I feel shortchanged if I'm a Packers fan. Again, this isn't like a Calvin Johnson situation where he was kind of just stuck in not the best position. Like, they got you the help you wanted. You were out there would you give me this player? I want this. I really just want one playoff game in Lambeau. I want an NFC championship in Lambeau. You screwed that up twice, bro. Like,
3 times.
3 times. That's right. 3
one and done.
Yes.
3 one and done in the recent playoffs.
He's beloved, I'm sure, to an extent, but you got to look at him sideways a little bit if you're a Packer fan. I don't know.
They bear responsibility. This is not all Aaron Rodgers' fault, but they're held hostage. That franchise is held hostage right now until his contract comes off the books.
Yep.
Which is fine. I have no problem with that. Great. Continue on, Green Bay. Keep packing that cheese. How can the Lions then? This is kind of where I want to end for tonight.
Okay.
How can the Lions then take advantage of this new landscape? Listen, we've already kind of mentioned it, right? They're the odds-on favorite to win the NFC North. They're the 4th best team to win, or the 4th highest odds to win the NFC and go to the Super Bowl. Like, literally, the Lions. Again, I'm Ricky Bobby, right? I don't know what to do with my hands. What do the Lions need to do to make sure they take advantage of this? Maybe that's the better question to ask.
You know what they have to do? You know what? This is my motto for next season.
Do not just say show up.
No.
Okay. All right.
3 simple words. Don't get cute. Don't get cute. Don't try to do too much. Stick to what worked last season. Yes. Make Jared Goff play conservative football. Run the football. Put DeAndre Swift in creative positions in space. Make Montgomery look like a star that he has the potential to be. Let Amon-Ra be that chain mover. Put J-Mo in positions where he can break the game open in sparing ways. He don't have to be like, he don't need 1,500 yards to validate for your pickup. If he has 7-8 touchdowns and maybe just under 1,000 yards, I'm okay with it. And Amon-Ra has 1,200 or whatever, cool with me. Don't get cute. Stick with what worked last season. You have better pieces to do it again. Even better. Just don't get cute. That's what I think they need to do.
Great answer. Great. Me, I love that answer. I'm like, yes, Eric, finally come over to the dark side.
Play some ugly football.
Yes, thank you. That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions have to, in order to take advantage of this, they have to do a couple of things, in my opinion. Number one, they need to, right from the jump. Like, if I'm a coach in training camp, you know what I'm putting on the back of every practice jersey? A target.
Ooh. You
know why I'm doing that?
Why is that? Because
they are now the hunted.
Oh, that's such a Dan Campbell move too.
We need to tag Dan Campbell in this. They need to tag the Lions in this clip specifically.
Yep.
And I'm calling you on, Dan. I'd love to talk to you about it. If you want to get coffee, jump on Beyond the Box. Let me give you my idea.
Holla at us.
Detroit Lions have never been the hunted. In fact, the king of the jungle has been the prey for far too long. But now, we are being hunted.
Mm-hmm.
Big game hunted, because we are in position to be hunted.
Mm-hmm.
So right from Jump Street, these guys need to know what it's like to play with a target on their back.
I like it. I got little chills from that. That was
Thank
good.
You.
That was really good.
Again, the other thing that they have to do, you need to know when it's time to step on the throat and stomp down. You cannot lose to teams that you are not supposed to lose to. You cannot have a stretch of games where you forget how to play football.
Mm-hmm.
If you are technically the fourth best team in the NFC, really we believe you're the third best team, potentially the second best team, depending on what San Francisco does with their quarterback situation.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Then you need to act like it every week.
It's gonna start.
Don't even let it be a competition.
I think it has to start with the division again. Like, those are you said you shouldn't be losing to team. Those are those teams that you should not be losing to. Like, if you have a one-off game against, I forgot who their schedule is, but somebody outside in the AFC, I'm not going to sweat that. You have to dominate the division and what it looks like this season. That's what I'm expecting from the rip.
If you have, what do they got? 6 division games, right? They were 5-1 last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're either 6-0 or 5-1 in the division. You can't be anything less than that.
I couldn't agree more. That has to be the staple of it. If you like a real turnaround to me, especially when we haven't had a division title in decades, God knows how many regimes. Those are one of those check marks. It's one of those check marks. You don't need to go to the Super Bowl right away, but just knock off those little check marks. Get the division, double-digit wins again, host a playoff game, check mark. Little checks right there. That's it.
It's going to be exciting. I can't wait. I got myself jacked up talking about putting targets on their back. Let's go, man. Let's freaking go.
I can't wait. I can't wait to clip that. We're tagging the Lions like crazy as soon as that clip goes up.
It's got to happen. Here's the deal, okay? We're Beyond the Box. We are your favorite Detroit sports show, and we're now coming at you 4 times a week. Live on Monday night. Drop another show on Tuesday at 5. Live on Thursday night. Drop another show on Friday at 5, so you can kick off your weekend the right way. Also, we want to remind you, if you're on YouTube, and you should be on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our channel, Detroit Sports Nation. Like this video, share this video, and make sure you pound that bell for notifications. He's Eric Vincent. I'm AJ Riley. We are saying that the Detroit Lions are going to win the NFC North.
Yes, sir.
because they will. And we will be back on Monday for a live show at 9 o'clock, and we will see you there.